It's been revealed that Prince Andrew hosted the late ex-offender Jeffrey Epstein as well as Ghislaine Maxwell and Harvey Weinstein at the Royal Lodge, the publicly owned home where he effectively lives rent-free after he paid for its renovation.
Today, we explore the intensifying ambience within Royal Lodge as they get ready to vacate the Windsor house they have shared for almost 2 decades. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has made an unexpected new demand of his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. According to reports, Andrew withdraws further into quiet after losing his prince title and faces internal exile, while Sarah is reportedly furious, humiliated, and becoming more and more alone. However, this is much more than just a crisis-ridden household. Insiders are revealing the truth about Andrew and Sarah's peculiar relationship for the first time. Why had she stayed for so long? What is she aware of? Why did Andrew maintain such a tight relationship with her in spite of her disarray, debts, and scandals? And why have they started dating so quickly? According to reports, Andrew has made remarks about using dating apps, suggesting that they are both prepared to find love. You ensure you don't miss a chapter in this never-ending drama. Make sure you hit subscribe and enable notifications before we get started. According to recent allegations from Women's Day, Andrew has told Royal Lodge employees that he does not want Sarah Ferguson near him. Sarah apparently felt terribly hurt and enraged by this demand. After decades of intimacy, she is said to be lonely, furious, and perplexed as to why Andrew is now pushing her away. This occurs just weeks after Andrew's prince title was formally revoked by King Charles, a humiliation that has made him reclusive and more perceptive of his surroundings. Insiders claim that in addition to the impending forced departure from Royal Lodge, Andrew has become much less tolerant of Sarah's presence, more abrupt and colder. Sarah is hurt by his rejection not only because she was emotionally dependent on him, but also because Royal Lodge was her home, her security, and the last remnant of the life she created around the monarchy.
There are reports around how Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, of course formerly known as Prince Andrew, is spending his final days at Royal Lodge, and he's said to be ranting to himself.
In the upcoming year, Andrew is anticipated to relocate to a smaller home on the King's personal Sandringham estate. This is referred to as his internal exile, a life of peaceful seclusion away from Windsor and any public royal engagements. The mood inside Royal Lodge has gotten worse. According to staff, the couple lives entirely apart in separate parts of the estate. They barely occasionally get to see one another at meals, and even then, their conversations are said to be passionate, emotional, and full of anxiety about what might happen next. It's believed that Sarah is in a panic. She is concerned about her girls, her own financial security, and her future living situation. As the fallout from his past finally catches up with him, Andrew is still preoccupied with defending himself. His emotions are changing hourly.
Apparently what's happening now, they're ranting claims. He's round there, he's had a meltdown at the manor, if you like. He's raging in the Royal Lodge, and it's probably the end of the party, former prince. Apparently what's happening, he's ranting to himself.
According to insiders, Sarah has become more and more alone at the resort in recent weeks. She is rumored to spend most of the day in her wing of the home or go to the estate's pub. She reportedly pleaded with the personnel to stay longer so she wouldn't feel alone. She is said to be scared, nervous, and unsure about where she will go after the lodge closes. This is a terrifying new reality for a lady who centered her post-divorce life around the royal household, and it is unclear what she will do next. Andrew and Sarah were regarded as the royal couple that never really parted ways for many years. Despite their 1996 divorce, they continued to live in the same house, follow the same routines, and occasionally lead similar public lives because it was advantageous to both of them. Their arrangement was successful. Sarah offered comfort, familiarity, and company. Andrew gave her security, safety, and a place to live. They worked together to create a bubble inside Royal Lodge that was rarely comprehended by outsiders. However, the delicate equilibrium they had for so long has been destroyed by the recent scandals. The Epstein repercussions, the financial strain, and now the loss of Andrew's prince title. Resentment, silence, and isolation have replaced their once cohesive front. The larger question is raised by this. What was the foundation of their relationship? Why Sarah remained by Andrew's side for so long has been questioned by many. They had an unusual relationship. It endured more controversies than most public partnerships ever could, and it was questioned at every turn. She is loyal for a number of reasons. Sarah first required the safety that the royal household offered. Her safe haven was Royal Lodge. It protected her from media attention, financial catastrophe, and the fallout from her own bad decisions. Secondly, she is aware of the reality of Andrew's personal life. She was there when he served as a trade envoy. She was aware of the people he interacted with, the favors he gave and received, the travels he took, and his questionable lifestyle. Those secrets were likewise kept under wraps by keeping Andrew close. She might have been taking advantage of the power she had over him. Third, she was dependent on his money. She experienced enormous debt, dubious business endeavors, and financial humiliation. She was unable to find stability on her own without Andrew's presence. Fourth, she wished to keep her daughters safe. Beatrice and Eugenie's position within the royal family was safeguarded by remaining loyal to Andrew. Ultimately, she stayed because she was afraid of what would happen if she left. She would no longer have access to riches, safety, or the royal bubble. She was able to stay afloat by staying near Andrew. Loyalty was more than just sentimental to Sarah, it was calculated and strategic. Andrew's loyalty is even more enigmatic than Sarah's. Why did he remain so close to a lady who caused him decades of debt, controversies, shame, and erratic behavior? The response is multi-layered. She has his secrets, first of all. She is fully aware of his personal life. She is aware of his actions, the people he interacted with, his behavior, and his connections. She would never speak up if she was kept inside Royal Lodge. They also have an agreement to protect one another. They would reveal themselves if they exposed the other. Both of them were shielded by their silence. Thirdly, Sarah was helpful. Even when everyone else turned away from him, she took care of the home, offered emotional support, and remained steadfast. She gave him a sense of respect and understanding. Fourth, leaving her would have come across as heartless, particularly at the height of the controversy. His reputation was eased by keeping her close, and they eventually became dependent on one another. As time went on, their arrangement became more about survival than passion. Without the other, neither worked effectively. Royal observers have conjectured about the mysteries that both of them possess for years. Eyebrows have been raised by Sarah's financial connections, dubious affiliations, her released emails referring to Epstein as her best friend, and her business dealings. There is no need to introduce Andrew controversies. Together, they created a world of unsaid understandings, strange allegiances, silent agreements, and intimate arrangements. Everything was held in check by their connection. That containment is now in jeopardy as Royal Lodge collapses around them. The fact that Andrew and Sarah are discreetly pursuing new romantic relationships is among the most unexpected discoveries of the past few months. The timing is crucial. The quiet agreement that held them together is eroding now that Royal Lodge is gone. Their lives are being torn apart by force. Their mutual reliance is eroding. They can establish emotional space, divert public attention, get ready for different futures, and reconstruct their stories before the truth catches up by dating once more. Before one of them ultimately speaks up. Some insiders think their dating lives could be a means of distancing themselves. Royal Lodge has come to represent the disintegration of everything. Employees are uneasy. Friends steer clear of going. Tension and unsolved questions abound in the house. Andrew goes into hiding. In a panic, Sarah wanders the hallways. Whispered chats, extended silences, and growing anxiety about what will happen when the keys are eventually turned over are all part of their shared meals. They both understand that an era is coming to an end. Post your opinions in the comments section. I read each and every one of them. For more updates on this story, remember to like and subscribe. I appreciate you watching.